What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be going over what in my opinion are the best squads to use in NBA 2k20 MyTEAM right now if you want to go 12-0 and get the Galaxy Opal Oscar Robertson. So last month, to be fair, like, I didn't try to go 12-0, as in, like, I'd be doing gameplays, I'd be playing like 1 to 2 games every day, and I just happened to get to 10-0 a few times and I lost. But I'm pretty confident, just like in the previous months, when I actually was, back when I was live streaming, and I was live streaming 12-0 runs, that I'll be able to go 12-0 maybe 1 in every 2 to 3 tries that I get it. I probably do, like, even winning 90% of your games just isn't enough. Winning 12 games in a row is so difficult. So these are just tips to make things easier. And one of the weird things is that you will be coming up against a lot of people doing the exact same thing, by the way, once this video comes out. So while it may not be great now, in a couple of days' time when the hype kind of dies down, this is going to be the best teams to use to go 12-0. So first of all, if you guys are going to be running with all opal teams, because there is a lot, like, you can get a 100k all opal team right now. If you guys are going to be running an all opal team, you better be well equipped. You better be rightly equipped. You better find a way to get your Yao Ming out there. You better find a way to get, I'm trying to think of what team I would use right here. I'd probably go with Yao. Actually, no, this is the team I've basically been running with. I've been going with Simmons at the point, who I think is the best point guard in the game, and it's not even close. Simmons is so good. I think he'll be even to GOAT Giannis, because I prefer Pro 8 over to Pro 2 behind the back. At the 2, I have been running with Kristaps Porzingis. Again, my favorite 2 guard in the game. At the 3, if I had Bol, I run with Bol. However, all I'm going to say is this dude is good. I'm not going to say the card that I'm running at the 3 is this exceptional card. The fact is that I locked in for him, so I kind of want to use him. But Vince Carter is surprisingly good, lads. Do not lock in for him. He is not worth the lock in at all. I did it because I wanted to rush out gameplay. And look, I had the MT. It's the end of the year, so I don't think I'm going to be using too much of it. So I went and locked in for him just because, again, I just wanted a quick video. But man, he's so much better than I thought he is. I thought he was going to be. Power forward, I run Dino, don't I? Yeah, I go with Dino. And then at center position, where is he? Kareem. There we go. So, like, this is the team that I run with. And then I went Yao at the 4 with Eddie at the 5. At the small forward, it is, I don't even remember who I run at the 3. Because I play with Rudy. I think he plays the 2. My point guard off the bench, obviously, is LaMelo. Who do I play at the 3 again? It's a bit weird. And Siakam, you can get away, like, you can more than get away with Siakam. You can, oh, Kawhi, sorry. Kawhi plays the 2, Rudy plays the 3. So yeah, this is the squad that I've been using in my games, and I haven't lost yet with this team, so this is probably the squad that I'll use. But there's no, like, exact need. So I'm going to tell you exactly, if you are to compete with the Opal squads, what you guys need. Point guard position, do not use anyone under 6'8", unless you are a 3 hunter and you're using Dwayne Wade. You can have a lot of success using Dwayne Wade if you are a 3 hunter, so I'm not going to say that. But unless you are supremely skilled with Dwayne Wade, and I would not advise any other card under 6'8". So if you want to use Odom, fine. If you want to use Hito, go for it. If you want to use this Giannis, who's like 50k, this Bill Walton, who's like 30k, go for it. You can get away with all those cards. I think Luka's probably the smallest I would go at the point guard position, but I wouldn't run Luka at the 1. I wouldn't even run Harden. I don't mind Harden. I really don't, but I wouldn't run him. I think you're either running with Opal Wade, Opal Anthony Edwards, or you're running with a big guy. At the 2 guard position and 3, honestly, there's a lot of players you can use. So what I would advise you guys is guys you are consistent with and have got like Hall of Fame clamps and are preferably Tendo glitched. What Tendo glitched is basically their defensive tendencies are ridiculously high, like 100, 100, 100, 100, and then 0 foul tendency. It just makes them a lot more likely to get steals, especially off ball, and it makes them a lot less likely to foul. So, for me, Vince Carter and Kawhi are Tendo glitched. I just really like Rudy, so I'm gonna put him in. I have him in here as well, and then Kristaps in a card that I just really like. But preferably, you just want guys in your wing that can play defense and hit jump shots, because most people run with their point guard. However, if you want to run like a T-Mac at the 2, and run like a defensive point guard at the 1, more power to you. So basically, if you're going for the 2-guard position, Cam Reddish works really well. Brandon Ingram is very solid. I wouldn't really run much through Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram's very like a Siakam. If you're on a budget, Chris Middleton's a really good option. I'm trying to think what else on a budget. Gordon Hayward's not a bad option on a budget. At the small forward position, Zion's not the worst option. Siakam, if you can get Siakam, he's like a slightly worse Ingram. They are good options. Power forward, center. I don't really advise using many power forwards because there's just so many good centers. Like Dino and Eddie, you can get both of these guys for 20k MT. They're so cheap. And yeah, Yao and Kareem are the best 2 cards in the game, period, in my opinion. Yao is very difficult to stop if you don't have him. I'm gonna say that right now. Like even with having Yao, he is very, very difficult to stop. That is not gonna be an easy job to do. However, there's a lot of great cheap centers. So if you guys are looking at the next packs, Wiseman, who I have, Wiseman's absolutely elite. Like he is like god tier, and he's actually over 100k right now, so he's a little bit expensive. He's god tier though. But I still would advise like paying the 25k for Eddie and Dino instead. You can get away with JaVale McGee. I wouldn't use him, but you can get away with him. Other cards that are quite decent at that center position, like Boogie. If you can get Boogie for cheap for 50k, he's not a bad option. If you can get where is he? Embiid. Embiid's an even better option, but he's that little bit more expensive. So I would make sure to get these 2 guys right here, Dino and Eddie, if you are on that bit of a budget. And at the power forward position, I wouldn't really advise it, but you can get away with using, for example, a Danny Manning. You can still get away with using him. You can, if you have like Larry Bird and stuff, you can get away with using him as well. Kevin McHale, kind of get away with it. Obviously, AD is exceptional, but in my opinion, Dino's better and cheaper. And then, really, if you're really struggling or you just want to cook someone on offense, a Thad Young for 4k MT works fine as well. But that's basically the squads you want to run if you're going with the best of the best. And now we are going to be looking at how to manipulate overall. So this is a little more tricky tactic. So I'm going to go show you guys what kind of a good 80 overall team looks like. And this is a team that I have used plenty of times, and it's just an all-around good team. And if you're good with these guys, it'll help. So one of my saviors in terms of overall squads has always been Dante DiVincenzo. Again, a card that I'm such a big fan of. However, I do think that while he is good, I'm pretty sure it barely changed the overall to put in Diamond Dwayne Wade. Diamond Tony Parker works as well. Don't doubt that. Wherever you put in Wade, you can put in Parker, who's got a slightly worse release, but I do think Wade is better. Then at the 2, again, you're going to be coming up against weak squads. Like, give me JJ Redick. At the 3, Andre Iguodala. He will be a key man because he's got gold clamps. And basically, what you want to do is put Andre Iguodala guarding the other team's best player. You got Wade in there. At the center position, it is Jochi, Amethyst, or you can use Bol Bol. I'm actually going to put in Bol Bol for now. Bol Bol, Jochi, Mo Bamba, same difference. And at the power forward position, because you don't have much, but you got Dwayne Wade-based Thad Young, who works really well. If you put in the right bronzes, this team goes to an 80 overall. Again, I'm not entirely sure. Try as much as possible to use current bronzes. You might think, oh, let's go to all 68 overalls. You'd think that works best, but no, those 80 overall, or those cards are actually not too bad, most of the 68 overalls. If you can get a bunch of the current 68 overalls, like I think Bonga's one, which is mad that Bonga's still the lowest rated player in the game, and he legitimately gets minutes, and there's guys that are silver that don't. Thomas Welsh. So this team, there is a way to make this team 80 overall. I did it my last time, 81, I assume. Shouldn't matter who I put in. No, like I can change around the bronzes to make this an 80 overall. If not, just put in Jochi, maybe that works. No, so you can change around the bronzes. I'm just not doing it right now. So an 80 overall, in my opinion, is one of like the kind of sweet spots because you don't tend to go over an 82 or 83 overall when you're going with an 80 overall team. However, it is very, very rare that you play a team that isn't kind of doing the same thing. If you do play it, however, using this tactic, there is a warning that the way matchmaking is, if there's not a lot of people online, which is possible in August, you might struggle big time to find a match. One tactic I would not advise you guys to use is the tactic I'm going to call 5-man. And I know a lot of people do this technique. And I come up against it so often. Where, for example, they'll go with... Let me just put up my best team. Give me Kawhi. Give me KP. You know, put Kawhi to 3, KP at the 2. Power forward. Kareem, center, Yao. Like a squad like this. And then they just go with bronzes everywhere. And their team is basically just a 5-man and nothing else. So their team probably ends up at like an 89 overall, 90 overall. So a lot of people see this and are like, okay, yeah, this is a smart tactic because it means we come up against lower rated teams. This does not happen often. That's all I'm going to say. Because what happens a lot is the amount of 5-mans that I come up with this lineup is crazy. A 96 overall lineup. I would say 1 of every 3 games I play is against a 5-man. I tried to run with a high-rated 5-man back a while ago, and you come up against very, very high-rated squads. Maybe, like, you might go on a run of 4 games of weak teams where you're in a 5-man. But you are guaranteed in a 12-0 run to come up against at least 3 teams with really good lineups and a bench. So, like, for example, I might come up against a team that's basically exactly this with a bench, and I'd be kind of screwed. Unless I got a big lead early and forced a rage quit. I get it, stamina doesn't mean a lot in this game. It means something. It does, especially with the way I like to play, where I run a lot. It does definitely mean something, because players basically take layups instead of dunk. It doesn't affect shooting, because green window and release timing is more important than ratings this year. But at the end of the day, this is a very common tactic to go 12-0. I do not believe it makes it easier. I'm telling you, I do not believe... I think, if anything... While, yes, if you want to win a random individual game, you might be more likely to win it using this lineup. But I do think over the course of 12 games, you are more likely to put yourself at a huge advantage using this type of lineup than using this type of lineup. However, this is still quite risky. I think probably the lowest risk, I'm going to try and make an 85 overall squad. Because I think they're normally the lowest risk. Because I think at worst case scenario, you're going to be playing a high rate of 5-man. Best case scenario, you're going to be playing against a poor squad. Someone that's just kind of starting out the game. However, with the fact that everyone's getting free opals, I really don't see how this is too much of a difference. I think even just going out with your best squad might actually be the easiest thing to do because of a lot of people just with high overall teams that aren't very good at the game. But an 85 overall squad might look something like this. So let me just go with Wade at the point just because he's so good. Center, give me Yao. And then just some clamps players here. So let me go Sapphire, or do I have clamps and range? Actually, I do, but he's Evo. He's an Evo card. Who's the best Ruby in the game? Actually, DiVincenzo. Give me him. Then, just go, do we have any decent amethyst power forwards? Give me Dean Wade. Wow, I didn't realize this was going to be an 86 overall team. And then, I don't know, let's put Dean Wade here. Give me a gold, I guess. Give me Iguodala, 85 overall, yeah. So we got a whole bunch of guys with clamps, only one guy without range. And while this team is definitely not really equipped to deal with the 89 overall teams, I think you do tend to come up against more lower overall teams. But with the way the game is going, with everyone having Galaxy opals, most people are going to be running with opals. And I do think that while in previous months there's definitely has been advantages to using lower overall squads, I think that there's no reason to not try it. If you are struggling to go 12-0 with your best team, try manipulating overalls, try out different things, see what works well for you, see what doesn't, and just try to see what wins you the most games. Because at the end of the day, 12-0 is not easy no matter what. But I do think at this stage of the game, it is probably best to go with your best lineup and just see what happens, see how many games you can win, see how easy it is to win. And I just think that with the fact that probably 5 games out of 12, you're going to be coming up against like the Westbrooks of the world, people running with Jokic and stuff, and you should be okay in those games if you use any sort of decent squad. I think actually going out with your best team, if you have the funds, that is. If you are low on funds, man, if you've got no MT, running with this team can still work. Cards like this. If you want to replace if you want to take out a non-range center player and put in some sort of a clamps type player, throw in Javon Carter. Doesn't change the overall, Javon Carter's got you bronze clamps, which in these type of squads actually helps. Another thing I would advise you guys not to do, and I know for a fact, like if there's other people making this video, they'll suggest this, and I do not think this works. I'm telling you, I do not think this works. Going with all bronzes and then like Mirasan or all bronzes and Yao, it doesn't work. Because if you go, for example, all bronzes and Yao, just randomly here, it's not going to be 85 overall. It's going to be like 78 overall or something. If you have something like this, I'm telling you, 78, 76 overall. There is a very, very good chance that you come up against a squad, or 77, whatever. There's a very good chance that you come up against a squad like this and you are screwed. I get it, you've got the best player on the floor by a mile, but trust me, you are screwed. You've got no one to take up the ball, and if you do end up saying, oh, I'll score every time with Yao, if you're using this lineup right here, you know what I do? I put Andre Iguodala onto him full court, double team off everybody, and just start like stripping him before you can even get to Bobo, who's going to be camped in the middle of the key the entire game. Trust me, like this is not the way to go about it. This is how to lose games. You might win 3 or 4 in a row if you're playing scrubs, but you're never going to win 12-0 doing this. You're never going to win 12-0 doing this. This is even worse. At least with Yao, you've got a point guard. You are never, ever, ever going to a 12-0 using this tactic, which some people suggest. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. These are the different types of squads you can go with. I do advise people to use their best team, but at the end of the day, try different things, and it's the last month of the year. So if you can go 12-0, go 12-0. If you can't, you can't. It's not a big deal. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's Robin. Tyson with the fade, not the hair, my hands rockin'. When I link with ball,